Perfect. All right. Well, today we are here at the Green Burial Chronicles with Morgan Oaks. With me is Anamaria, Chaplain Anamaria Morar. So this is going to be really fun because you are one of the families at Morgan Oaks that we deal with pretty much day in and day out. So you guys are regulars. We absolutely love you. You do a lot not only for us, but for other families. For the community of Morgan Oaks. So I'm really excited to have you here. So thank you for taking time out of your day and driving around and finding us.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome. Okay, so before we dive into the deep conversations, tell me a little bit about you. Like, how did you get into respiratory therapy, chaplaincy, all the things?
That's actually quite a story. So when I was in college, I was actually an art major. I'm an artist, so I paint, sculpt. I do a lot of art mediums. My favorite thing in the world. And then I was married at that time, and the person I was married to said, "Hey, what about respiratory?" So I said, "Sure, why not?" And I looked into it. It looked really interesting, and I love giving back to people, community. I'm a giver. That's my personality. And when I first got into respiratory, in my mind, I thought I would just help people put on oxygen. Little did I know it has a whole genre of so much more, and it actually turned out better than I thought. And as I believe, I believe in the higher power, so I believe it was my calling where it would lead me to the right place. And in the process of being a respiratory therapist, I got upgraded to respiratory care practitioner. And then while I was doing that, I met a lot of patients and clients, and a lot of them, they're grieving. They're going through trauma. They are experiencing a lot. Most people carry burdens and pain of an experience they had in their entire life, even till their deathbed. And so because I saw such a need, especially they're hungry for spirituality, that's what led me to become a chaplain.
Okay.
And it really made me think. And I've been doing respiratory care for over 20 years now.
Wow.
A very long time. And that's what led me to be a chaplain. And then I went to my church and I said, "Hey, you guys have a chaplain program?" They said, "Yeah, we start next week." So that timing couldn't have been planned better. So I got interviewed twice because they do interview. They're very thorough.
That's
and
great.
Then they asked me a bunch of questions, and then I got accepted and I became a chaplain. So that was my how I got through it.
So tell us a little bit. So how long have you been a chaplain now?
About 2 years now.
Okay. So what's your favorite thing, and then what's the hardest thing? And what is it? Like what's a chaplain's job? Because I think there are people, prior to me being a part of the church, I didn't really know what your job was or what that looked like.
Yes, so a chaplain. So at the church I go to, they have something called Stephen Ministry, which is long term, so like a year or 2 years. A chaplain, we're kind of like spiritual first responders.
Yeah.
So if there's a crisis or emergency, such as a family member in a hospital, you want somebody to be there for them, to pray for them. If you have a family member, it's because people think chaplain is all hospice. It's not hospice, it's spirituality. It's us being there for them, praying for them. Even being with what I call the gift of presence. I call it a gift because it is a gift.
It is.
And so being present with the person that's going through something. So chaplaincy is like a spiritual guide or counselor, We do prayer. Some chaplains sing to family members. So depending what the need is, we have a hotline. If somebody wants to call and just somebody to say, "Hey, will you pray with me?" Or to help guide you in the right direction, that's where we're here. We're like spiritual first responders. The police, a lot of, even like the military, they have chaplains. The police for emergencies, so like a car accident, for example. That's what we had training on. Even if there's a car accident, somebody calls, we go as a chaplain and pray with them, yes.
That's really cool.
And then the other thing we do is funerals. We do funerals, so if somebody, is going through that, some chaplains do the processing, and they do that as well.
Cool. What's your favorite thing and hardest thing?
My favorite thing, I love people.
Yeah.
I love talking to people. I love getting to know them. I love just being there for them. The hardest thing is when you are coming to a person that is on hospice. It's their last moment, their last breath. And those moments are hard because you see somebody dying, somebody that ended their life. And for me personally, it was a little easier just because I do that in the medical field. And so I've seen it firsthand for 20 years. But as a chaplain, it's still hard.
It is.
It is, and even especially when it's a family member, it's much even harder. So you can't escape it. It's just a part of life,
Yeah. It is hard. I remember when my dad, in his last few hours, requested one of the chaplains from our church. And, it was really cool to see the church work so quickly to send him specifically.
Yeah.
And he came, and I know you guys probably do this too, but like he knew my dad. So he brought a little stuffed dog. And you could see my dad go from being nervous to just like
Yes.
relax. And it made my heart so full. And I could never be so grateful for the church that he attended, that they would send someone so quickly and that they would move mountains to get the person that my dad requested. So
Yeah.
you guys have a very serious job. You have a job that I think there's a lot of people that don't understand it, but it means a lot. Like it meant a lot to my family. So thank you for what you do, because I
Thank
know
you.
it's not easy, and I know that you guys have to move like that,
Yes.
in very tough, sad, hard situations. So all that to say, that's not the reason you're actually here today, but
No.
that's about who you are. So
Yes.
I'm excited because your family is very near and dear to me. I feel like we've grown so close in,
Yes.
the time that you've been with us, but you actually had trauma in your life.
Yes.
And so your dad has been laid to rest there.
Yes.
I'll never forget when you guys came in and your mom and I were talking, and she said, "Your dad sounds like a really nice man. We'd like to be as close to him as
Yes.
we can." So I feel like our two dads are
Yes.
together. So tell me, you went through this process. It was probably really hard. Tell me a little bit about your connection with Morgan Oaks and what that looked like for you.
So my connection with Morgan Oaks. So my dad passed away actually on election day.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know. November 5th, it was a very difficult day.
Yeah.
I was there. It was a very hard moment for my whole family, because my dad, we were very close to him. He was the jolly man. He was a Christmas baby. Christmas Eve, that was his birthday. So he was like a Santa Claus. And he was always happy, always jolly. So he was the one that brought I guess you could say, the life to the party. He used to goof around. And so losing him was very difficult.
Sure.
He was my go-to. Like if something happened, I wanted to talk to him, especially about like the supernatural spirituality. My dad was the one I would love to talk to about anything. When I went through my trauma, the first person I called was my dad. He was my anchor, He was the person that had a very strong foundation, and he's the one that taught me about my faith in God, believing in Jesus. And he has a story how he escaped from my country to come to America for for freedom. And so he was a very strong man, and so losing him was hard. And we were looking for a place to lay him to rest, and we found Morgan Oaks, and my sister and I were looking online at every place possible. My dad hated cemeteries. He did not like the way they looked. He always thought they were creepy. So when we found Morgan Oaks, it was a natural preserve. It was perfect. And he was into nature and animals as well.
Okay.
And so that was so perfect for him that we said, okay, let's give it a go. Let's go look. And so I will never forget this. It was me, my mom, my sister. We stepped out of the car, and as soon as I stepped out, I felt it. I knew this is the place for him. The way it looked, the way the aesthetic, everything about it just felt right.
Yeah.
And the thing that really got me was that it's natural. And the nature of the animals, that's another thing. And so we called you.
I remember that,
I'm like, hello, this is Anamaria. And so since then, I knew Morgan Oaks, but a little did I realize it will become something more
Sure.
than what it's become so far. And you guys are, to us, like to my family, you guys are like family. It's like we're part of a family now together.
Yeah.
And so it really does mean a lot that my family's there.
It's awesome to have you guys. I mean, we'll get into all the things that you guys do, but for your grief journey, your dad was really close to you, like my dad
Yes.
was really close to me. I think it's so cool. As you're sitting here, I'm thinking like, gosh, we have so many things in common. My dad, I would
Yeah.
call him, and he was the goof,
Yeah.
and so my dad is in a cremation plot, so the listeners can understand, a few rows below your dad. And somebody recently said, "Steph, why did you pick that plot?" And I said, honestly, I drive that little road all the time, and I love seeing my dad's name. I love stopping. Everybody says hi. He's,
Yes.
and so same thing for you.
Yes.
I use my dad and your dad as the stopping points, because we'll talk about your plot in a minute, but it's just so nice to have a place to like go. I know he's not there, right? Like
Right.
he's not there, but it allows me to grieve there. And so
Yes.
talk to me a little bit about your grief journey, and what that's looked like for you and your family.
So my grief journey, yes, and my family, And that's the same reason we put my dad there, because my mom said, I want to close to the road so I can see him.
Yeah.
I said, okay, sure, whatever you want, because it's her husband. So
Yeah.
we want to respect my mom too. But same thing, my family, my grief. So my family is very close. My grief journey, it's never easy.
Right.
I mean, we have to be realistic. It's never, you can't just wake up one day and puppy dogs and rainbows and everything's peachy. It doesn't work that way. My grief journey, it's all over the place. Some days are good, some days are not. Sometimes, if I look at his pictures, I still have difficulty, especially like ICU pictures. I don't sit there looking at the pictures. But my grief journey has been because of my understanding. I believe personally, my medical background. I finished becoming a chaplain right before, so the timing of it was just right. I had that extra training, which I thank God for. I feel like it's prepared me for this, but again, it's never easy,
Right.
and it has been a challenge. I have to be realistic. But what really made it easier is, like you said, walking by every day, seeing his plot, being there, walking around, that really has helped. My family being connected together, we talk about the happy memories, the positive stuff, the good, funny, goofy stories. And that actually, and when I had my training, we were trained that that's how you helps you grieve, is the happy memories, remembering the good things, because that's what helps you and your nervous system too heal when you're going through that grief. And so that's how I did my grief journey, is by remembering. And I would say, oh, remember when Dad was putting on, I remember the time when somebody had a green wig, a woman's wig, and he put it on. I still have pictures of it. And he was goofing around, and he was like, look at me. And it was cute, but he was just being goofy, his goofy self. And so I remember memories like that.
Okay. So I love that. I do that too. It's funny you say the ICU picture, because I have those saved in my phone too. And I don't look at them often, but when I do, it takes me right back to that moment. And that was really hard. I remember for years, I could still hear the hospital beeps and the bells and the whistles, and like that never goes away.
It doesn't
And
go
I
away.
don't like looking at those photos. I like looking at the photos of my dad fishing at the baseball games, but
Right.
there are moments where I go back and I remember that.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what you specifically, your mom, your sister, your brother has to, because for the listeners, Christian works now at Morgan Oaks. He's
Yes.
been such a important role lately to just help us out there. He's so kind and so gentle, and we love having him there. But outside of that, what do you guys do on the regular to help your healing journey? Because I think for a lot of listeners that haven't been to Morgan Oaks, they think of, oh, it's a cemetery. And we have so many people like you and your family that visit often.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your visits. What does that look like? What do you guys do for that?
So our visits, yes. So my dad also loved flowers, and we follow Morgan Oaks' guidelines, making sure we're not doing anything too crazy. But we're just basic flowers like marigolds, for example. My mom wanted to put marigolds. My dad loved those kind of flowers. So what we did was we put flowers for him. So that was one way we helps us with the grieving, actually. Another thing that we do is come and we have walks. So we come every other day. And we do our walks, and the walks are not that long. Sometimes we take a 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk. And then the other thing is we come every other day just because of the flowers. We water them. So we want to make sure they're preserved, So we water the flowers. And we started doing that. First started with one, then two, then with a couple of rocks. And now his whole plot's covered in flowers, of course, following guidelines. And actually, that helped us. It helped us with the grieving. Coming every day for the walks, coming every day doing the flowers. And then the other part that I love is the animals. I take pictures all the time of the animals. Of course, I don't take pictures of people's plots, but just the trees and the animals around. I have pictures of a deer that came through. I have the different types of rabbits. There's the cottontails, and then there's the
they're so
hares,
cute.
the really big rabbits with the really long ears. I have pictures of those. A bunch of unique bugs. Even spiders. There's like a furry, orangey spider.
Don't tell people that. They don't want to hear about. Just
But
kidding.
that's only rare you see them. But my point is, there's a lot of unique things there, and we come for our walks. And going on the walks and doing that has actually helped us in our healing journey.
Yeah.
And it also has helped us with the grief. And then the flowers, too. That really has helped. Because we come by, we see them, it actually brings us, it brings the happiness and those, what is it, the endorphins,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. So for our listeners, if you're new to this, we have 3 miles of walking trails. And I remember when my dad passed, much like you guys, just walking on that trail. And, talking to him or just like getting out in nature is way different than going to a regular cemetery and you
Yes.
go and you just drop flowers and then you leave, you get in your car. My grandma is buried at a regular traditional cemetery and you just kind of go, drop off the flowers and you're like, all right, cool. And you leave.
Right.
Whereas like Morgan Oaks, you guys, you walk to it through, the little walkway, the road, and you
Yes.
see all those animals and it's so different and it's helped so many people with their grief.
Yes.
And they're processing through for everybody, death is traumatic. There's never a good time because someone's 91 doesn't mean it makes it any easier. Obviously, if it's unexpected, that is harder, but death is death and it's still sad and we miss our loved ones. But being able to visit and walk out there and just be in nature has changed so many people's lives. So for the people listening, Anna Maria and her mom do this really cool thing where I call it gardening your plot. So they have these beautiful flowers, they water
Yes.
them. They're not big, huge flowers. So for the listeners, it's not like a rose bush or anything
No.
like that. But this is what I think is so cool is some people do rocks, some people do flowers, and so eventually we're going to get into offering and discussing what we call, tell everybody the name of the new thing that you're going to start.
Oh, okay. So I'm starting something called Poppy Fields Memorial Tribute. So it's a tribute to your loved ones, and it's basically gonna be the same thing we do for my dad. There's a lot of people that love the idea, and I've even had people that are close to him, family members visiting that mentioned, "Hey, I wish I could do that for my family member," and I said, "Why not give back to the community by offering this service?"
Right.
And that way they can have that as well, take pictures so that they can see, because they can't come. They live far
Right,
away,
right.
hour away, to, however far it is. And so that's what it is, the Poppy Fields Memorial Tribute. It's a tribute to your loved ones.
Coming soon.
Coming soon, yes.
Perfect. So if you haven't been to Morgan Oaks, you can go visit and you can see what they've done to their dad's
Yes.
plot, or you can just wait and we'll have more information on that. It's
Right.
absolutely wonderful. It's beautiful, and I'm super excited.
Yeah.
So what do you think, what are some of the misconceptions about grief that you wish people understood more? I know, for me, there's a lot. I don't think a lot of people haven't dealt with grief or hard things until much later in
Right.
life. And so they don't know what to expect. But what would you say is your biggest things?
So a lot of people think that you grieve, let's say, for example, for 6 months, and you wake up the next morning, boom, you're healed. Grief doesn't work like that. It's not a straight line. I don't know if you've heard of the different steps of grief. Acceptance, bargaining. It's one, and they have 6 steps or whatever it's
Right.
called. It's not step 1 through 6. It's step 1 today, tomorrow maybe step 6,
Yep,
the next
yep.
day step 2. So it's a process. And what I've seen personally is a lot of people are afraid to face it. They set it aside. I just want to be happy.
Yeah.
Happy memory. There's nothing wrong with being happy, but you have to let it flow through you like water. Let the grief flow through you. And I believe that's part of the reason how I processed my grief a little earlier than most people, is because I just allowed it to flow through me
Sure.
when I was experiencing. I remember it's right after we laid my dad to rest at Morgan Oaks, and a wave of grief just hit me. I even took a selfie because I wanted to see what my grief looked like to me. I still have the picture of myself, and then if you look at it, it looks fine. I look normal, but my grief hit me so hard, and something in me clicked. I said to myself, "Let it just flow through you. Don't fight it. Just let it go through you." And I did that, and I don't know, something changed in me. And the grief, it's people think that they shouldn't grieve, or some people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be around that because it's negative." No, you have to process, you have to face it, you have to go through it. And as hard as it is, nobody escapes grief. We all have to go through it in life.
Yeah.
And what I've seen personally firsthand is I've had my moments where I try to put it aside and okay, I'm just gonna live my life and do my thing. No, you can't do that. You can't. The longer you prolong it, the longer it's gonna take.
Yeah.
But when you surrender to it and let it flow through you and let it run its course, you'd be surprised how quickly you can help you move forward through it. Not over it, not past it, but through it.
It's so hard.
And it's very, very important. Yeah.
That's true. I think a lot of people said grief doesn't get easier, it just gets different.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I remember calling my friend after like the second year my dad had passed, and I was like, why am I still so sad? And I'm probably going to be sad till I'm 100.
Right.
It's just going to look different.
Exactly.
We're going to heal different. But you're so right. And I think a lot of the world is afraid to allow emotion to come up, to
Exactly.
cry, to whatever. I remember my therapist was like, I want you to go home and just really cry. Put on a
Yes.
playlist that makes you think of your dad and just let it out. And
Yes,
I
let
was
it
like,
out.
ugh, that feels and sounds awful because I'm a stuffer. I just like to stuff it and move along. I knew I'd never get through life with that, especially with my dad. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? Like, what's your, I'm sure you've probably answered this, but like now that you've been there for a little bit, like, what's your favorite thing about having your dad at Morgan Oaks as opposed to somewhere else that maybe you guys discussed? Because you do live in Lincoln, right?
I live in Lincoln. Yeah, we
Yeah.
looked at other plots. My favorite thing is this. I love the fact that I can be in nature. Everything is natural. It's not. It's. It doesn't feel like a cemetery. I love the fact that there's no chemicals, none of that. I think that's the best choice we ever made.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that I can go there, I can get my exercise, I can get my nature, I can get my animal fix,
Yeah.
because I love animals. I get all that, and I get to stop by and say hi to my dad. And I know he's not there, but
Right,
I get to go visit the
Yeah.
plot to remember him. It's like killing. What's the expression? Five birds with one stone
Right,
or
right,
whatever.
yeah.
It's like that, and I get all of those at once. Why not? And
Yeah.
I'm a science person. As a medical person, it's really good for your nervous system because we store a lot of grief and trauma in the fascia in our nervous system as well. And by walking, actually walking, number one, walking, the sunlight, nature, and animals are four major ways you can heal.
Wow.
And especially grief. And so for me, I see that as a win. So that's why when I go to Morgan Oaks, I absolutely love it because I get all those at once.
That's so true. Yeah.
And it's so, so important to help with the grieving process. And so that's what I love about it, and that's what
I
helps
love that.
me.
If your dad left you with one thing, what's one thing that he left you with, like maybe a saying or a way of life, or like what's the thing that you remember the most about him?
My dad, oh my God, he had so many of those things. One thing I remember I loved about him is, he loved Jesus. He used to say, I love the Lord Jesus. He would say, do the thing and show kindness and love, but do the thing that even when nobody's looking, always do the right thing.
Ugh.
Even when nobody sees you, because God will. But he never taught us out of fear. It was more of just do love, be kind, and do the things that nobody ever will know, even when nobody's looking, because eventually the truth always comes out.
Oh, that's so
So
good.
he was always a very honest man. That's what I really loved about him.
Oh, that's so good. Do
Yeah.
the right thing, even in
Yeah.
the darkness when no one's looking. I love that.
Yes.
What brings you joy these days?
Oh my God, joy. Actually, coming to Morgan Oaks is the being around animals, nature, just living life, enjoying life. We have so much that we are given every day. Lately, because when my dad passed, it changed something in me. Something in me clicked. It's like I remember at the hospital. Can I share a private moment with you? I was in the hospital. So growing up as a little girl, I used to love putting my head on my dad's chest to listen to his heartbeat. And I have this in my book actually. Whenever we're going through something, I'm always the last person. I'm a fighter. I'm always the last. I was the last one to leave. My mom and my sister were waiting in the hallway in the ICU. I remember everything was dark. And I put my head on his chest, and there was no sound, no heartbeat. And something in me clicked then. It's like a surrender of my personal trauma, of everything I was dealing with him. And it really made me realize we have so much that we're giving everyday life. And even food, the sunlight, the air we breathe, that's what gives me joy because that's what makes us alive. Just the fact that we're human, that we have these experiences in life, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Sure.
But that's what gives me joy. It's just being alive, being here. So I'm grateful for it every day.
I love that. And I have to say this to the listeners. They're probably like, gosh, what does Stephanie pay Anamaria to say all these great things about Morgan Oaks? You guys, their family is out there every day.
Yes.
They are always doing kind things. They make blackberry jam out of our blackberries. They made me a quilt. Your mom made me a quilt.
Yes,
Like,
it's just my family.
it's just, these are just good people that, you're grateful that, and I'm grateful that the owners of Morgan Oaks made a space like this because
Yes.
honestly, I'm
Me
grateful
too.
to have my dad there. I'm biased maybe a little bit because I work there, but I can't tell you the joy it's brought me to have him there, to be able to help families like yourself that are grieving. And we've built a community, honestly, there with people like you that look out for each other, that you know, if you see something on someone's plot that doesn't look right, you know, your brother or you guys are always
Yes.
telling one of us, or you're fixing it. And
Yes.
so I love that that's what we've created out there. So that's so beautiful. And I love that about your dad. Like, what a great story. I remember being in there. We're like the same person.
Oh my gosh.
You know, being there with my dad at the last moment and holding his hand and just waiting. And, you know, like, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
So if your dad could be here for this conversation today, what would you want him to know or hear?
Oh my God. What would I want him to know? I definitely miss him. I love him and miss our talks, but I know he's in a good place. I know he's with Jesus, and I'll see him again someday.
My dad and him are probably up there hanging out,
I know.
right?
Probably having a good chat. That's my
Laughing
daughter.
and doing all the things. Okay. And then is there anything that, like, for someone that's listening today that's grieving or someone they love, and is there something you hope that people take away from this conversation today?
Yes, my hope is this. I know it's hard. I know it's painful. Maybe you're there crying right now. You can get past it. You can get, not forget about it, never think about it. You can move forward to where you can actually live life again and live with this new normal.
Yeah.
Because it is a new normal.
Yes.
And once this changed, I remember when my dad passed away, just from my chaplain training, I told my mom, I said, don't be surprised if people come up to you and tell you things that are mean and unexpected, that you're like, whoa, what were they thinking?
Yeah, yeah.
People are going to do that. But your grieving process and your own journey, it's your journey. Go at your pace. Give yourself grace.
Yes.
Be graceful with yourself. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to grieve. Some people grieve differently. Some people laugh. Some people cry. Some people, I'm more what's the word? I'm more of an introvert, so I like my quiet time for an hour just to think and process my thoughts. Just how I am. You know, everybody's different, and so give yourself that grace to process the grief. And number two is don't be afraid to face it. Don't be afraid to go through it, because it is a part of life. It's a part of our lives that we all have to face someday.
Yeah.
And grief, it makes you stronger. You know, people are
does.
very strong, and live life again. You know, be grateful for what we have. It's very, very important.
Let me ask you too. This
Yes.
question just came to my brain.
Yes.
Your dad's, the journey, I don't know too much, but did you know your dad was sick for a long time? Was this something that was very quick? Like, were you expecting it?
No, we were not expecting.
Okay.
So my dad had cancer.
Okay.
He had a rare form of brain cancer in the testicle. So he's the
Okay.
first case. So they didn't know, very aggressive. In a month, it grew to the size of a bowling ball.
Wow.
Because it's brain cancer in the testicle, they didn't know what to do with him. So they did all kinds of tests on him. He did chemo for 13 years.
Wow.
It's a miracle that he's even alive for 13 years. The doctor told him, I might be able to give you 10 years. So the fact that he was 13 years after is a miracle in itself.
Okay.
But they told him he was cancer-free. So that's why the death was a little bit unexpected, because we were like, oh, great, he's cancer-free. He can start living life again. He's
Yeah,
getting healthier. So we really don't know what caused it. We really don't know. We didn't do autopsy. We just didn't want to know. It's just, you know, he already been through too much. His
Yeah.
poor body.
Yeah.
And so we're really not sure, but he was sick for a while. And
Okay.
so it could be something new that popped up. We really don't know. And so, but it was a hard process to
Yeah.
go through, you know.
But you had 13 great years, you know? Like,
Yes,
that's pretty
yes.
crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
A very long time.
And I hear that, and I think to give people hope that are listening, you know, God is good.
yes, always.
But there's so much nowadays that I think if you are struck with that diagnosis, don't give up. Don't
No.
throw in the towel,
Yeah.
because, you know, we hear things all the time like, oh, you have 9 days or 9 months. And so, like, let's really live for the 9 months. Let's live for 19 months, 19
Exactly.
years, because you just don't know what your body's going to do, what Jesus is going to, like, there's so many things that could happen.
Yes.
So the diagnosis sucks.
Yes.
But what if? What if there's more? What if we can get through this?
Exactly.
And that's really, like, you know, my dad unfortunately was diagnosed and passed within, 7 days. So that was quick. That was
Wow.
very unexpected.
Wow.
But that was his journey. Your
Right.
journey was 13 great years that you got to
Yes.
spend. And whatever took him at the end, again, you're much like me. It doesn't matter. It was
Exactly.
his time, and it does matter, but it's why dig into all the what ifs, you know?
Right.
So I asked that question because I think some people listening, like I could say, oh, Anna Maria, my grief is different from your grief because it was so quick.
Right.
And like I said in the beginning, and you probably would agree, grief is grief. It doesn't matter if it's 7 days or 17 years or 17 billion years. When someone passes that you love, it's hard.
Right.
And I think it's important for people to really understand, listen to these podcasts, and how can, everyone's grief journey is different.
Yes.
What can you take from those pieces? So thank you for sharing your grief journey about your dad, and thank you for sharing
Yes.
all your things. Just a couple last fun questions about you.
Okay.
Okay, ready? What's one word that describes your dad? Only one word.
Kindness.
Kindness, great. Favorite place to find peace?
Believe it or not, Morgan Oaks.
Yes, I love that answer. What's bringing you hope right now?
Oh gosh, I have a hope right now in Jesus.
I love
He
that.
gives us hope for the future.
So good.
Always.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Ah, interesting. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunsets.
Ooh, at Morgan Oaks. Her dad is
Yes.
placed at Sunset
absolutely
Bridge,
love it.
and there's beautiful sunrises and sunsets there.
So many pictures.
Mountains or oceans?
Mountains.
Ah, good one. Okay. And last one for our lightning round. One word that describes healing for you.
Grace.
Oh, so good. Anna Maria, thank you so much
Thank
for
you so much
everything
for
today.
having me.
I love something that you shared. It's not getting over loss, but it's about learning to carry love in a new way, carrying that love for someone that you've lost in a new way. It's a reminder for all of us. You're not gonna get over it, but you're gonna get through it. So
Right.
thank you for sharing your heart, your story. Everything about you guys is wonderful. And so if you're listening, you can listen to this on every platform. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and again, Spotify, Apple Music, all the things. So thank you for listening. Walk gently, remember deeply, and celebrate the legacy of life.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.